Hello again, test track and two Class 76s, although that was under the BR Tops designation. They were known as EM1s before that. BR Metrovic Class 76, right? So these are Heljan models that came out approximately 2013. And exclusive to Olivier trains, okay. And I was lucky to get hold of two of them because I fell in love with them as soon as I saw them. I love the look of these. And so there's the BR green one with a cream roof, which would have been as it was shopped at Galton Works with the late BR crest on it. And then you've got behind it, oh, that's carrying the number E26051, by the way, the green one with a small yellow panel. The one behind it, the BR black one, is just 26020, alright, in the black with the lined red on it and the early BR crest. And it's all in a typical Woodhead type coal train that you would have heard these rattling through the old Woodhead route. What I'll do, I'll read you a bit of the blurb that comes with the locos from Heljan, so it gives you a description about these. 57 were built, EM1s, and that become Class 76s. They were built by Metropolitan Vickers at Galton Works. The first one came out in 1941. That was called Tommy. I can't remember the reasoning behind that, but there was something to do with a nickname of Tommy or something. That was the first one. That was built in 1950, 1953. Then they went on to build these ones. So let's have a look. They were modified design based on Sir Nigel Gresley's Tommy locomotive. The design was for a locomotive to work the Woodhead line, Manchester to Sheffield, electrified at 1500 volts DC, right? So that's a different electrical system that BR adopted later on for, say, like Euston to Glasgow and other areas. So that made it unique, alright? The locomotives were built by Metropolitan Vickers at Galton Works and supplied with electrical and traction motors fitted at Dunkinfield. The locomotives were unusual as in the fact that the bogies were coupled to each other and the buffer beam draw gear was fixed to the bogies. This resulted in no transmission of traction and braking forces through the locomotive body, alright? So I broke that sentence up, but I think you get the gist of it. Right, so let's have a look. The original plan was transmission. The original plan was to use only the rear pantograph. That's those things on the top, if people don't know what they are, and keep the front one in case of damage. The Woodhead route was plagued by serious ice problems, soot from steam engines and unusual atmospheric conditions, all of which contributed to poor and often intermittent pickup from the overhead line. Alright. This experience quickly led to the use of both pantographs simultaneously. This greatly improved the pickup and is thought to have significantly lengthened the life of the overhead wire. The rest of the country was converting over to 25 kV AC overhead power supply, which meant the Woodhead was doomed, with passenger services ceasing in 1970 and the line itself only carrying on until 1981 as a freight only. The locomotives were originally numbered 26001 to 26057. Then they became class 76 under tops. The draw started in early 1970. 30 were fitted with multiple working equipment and air braking to allow them to work in pairs on the heavier MGR coal trains. That's the sort of thing I'm trying to model here, right? Oh, they'd be much longer than this, probably 40-50 wagons, I should think. By 1979, only 38 of the 57 strong class remained in service. The route officially closed on the 18th of July 1981, with the 34 76s being withdrawn and cut up. While many believe the closing of Woodhead route was a mistake, its unique nature branded it a failure and always is destined to be BR's white elephant. Yeah, I get what they're saying. It wasn't, it wasn't compatible with the rest of the network. Neither was the locos, and it was really only suitable for diesel hauled trains. And obviously, the maintenance of the Woodhead tunnels being miles long as they were, even though the new one was built in 1950 something, still took a lot of maintenance with the other tunnels and viaducts on the route. So BR just decided to cut their losses and close the line under whichever government transport minister that was in 1981. Only one full locomotive has been preserved. That's number 26020 in the National Railway Museum. There's also the cab of 26048 Hector, residing at the Museum of Science and Technology in Manchester. So that's the blurb that goes with the loco. And I'm lucky, I had a bit of a mishap with the green one about a year or so ago when I was running it in a different part of the place I'm at. When it fell off the layout, oh, catastrophe. It actually fell off because I had everything balanced up, not like it's properly set down. And it fell off the layout and I looked down, the buffer beam was off and the front bogie was actually hanging out of it. Oh, that is the worst nightmare. Anyway, after picking it up and carefully finding all the bits, got the buffer beam back on, as you can see. But the tower gear where the motor bogie is was a little bit trickier. After finding, these are card end shaft drives, so got the motor in the centre of the loco's body, and you've got two card end shafts driving each tower gear, right? Typical Heljan setup. That's why they're so lovely. And they're nice. I found the card shaft lying on the floor, and it wasn't broken, but on closer inspection, one of the splines on the end snapped off, leaving only one spline. So I thought, what do I do? Do I put it back in with only one spline? Is it going to work? So I decided to do that carefully, managed to get it all back together. And this is a result, and it's been like that ever since. Now, whether that spline will go, I don't know, or whether it'll be alright, I don't know. But so far, so good. I probably could pick up a spare card end shaft for it and have it back to its perfect condition. But for now, as long as it runs, and it does run nicely, there's no funny noises in both directions, that's okay. So that's the story of that. And again, these on eBay are holding their price, and you can see why, because they're such beautiful models. The EM2 that they brought out is also a beautiful model, but I feel that Heljan got the cab design wrong. There's something wrong with it, just around the top of the cab area. I can't put my finger on it, it doesn't look right, so I avoided getting one. And they're not going to do anything about it, so it's up to me whether I want to grin and bear it. You still can get them, but they've gone right up in price now, just like these have. What we'll do, we'll stop them and have a stop them in consist. I just want to say that I've got these running in consist at 21 speed step on the Gauge Master Prodigy. All right, so we'll bring it to a nice slow stop, and we can pour over it. These wagons are interesting, the typical wagon wagons there. There's some Dapol, Bachmann, Hornby in there, all mixed up. So let's have a look at these locos in detail. So we'll bring them to a nice halt and we can see them in the sunlight. It'll be nice, won't it? So it's a bit more pleasant to work in this test track now that the temperature's gone up. It's about 9 degrees in here today. Look at that, look. There you go. Right, so I want to point out the wheels. They're spoked. Alright. Now that is attention to detail from Heljan. Alright, look at that bogey detail. Now that, you know, that chain they were talking about would be there. Obviously it's not modelled on this loco, but there was a chain connecting the two bogies together. Alright, I think it's just one chain. You've got, let's see if we can get some, is that detailed now? Or is that just, I don't know what that's, I don't think it's worded there, but it's supposed to be Gorton Works, I think. BR crest is always represented nicely. Look at that roof detail, look at them pantographs and wires and everything. Silver, the twin horns there. Windscreen wipers fitted. It's got working lights, but they're not very good. Typical Heljan, they're not very good. Got the brake lamp there, see it there on the front. Vacuum brake pipe, coupling hook. These have got sprung buffers. I think I glued them back on. That might be the end that fell out, which means that that's the one with the weakened card end shaft. Yep, it's got some cab details in there. Can't really see it from here, but you can make out some cab detail. Handrails, wire handrails, footsteps. I like the spring gear there, and I like the BR lining. I've put the usual driver and second man in my loco. There's also, let's zoom in on that. What we got there? We got any legible writing there? Trying to get it move out. Maybe we can get that. Yeah, I can't see if that's legible. That's the builder's plate, but that's definitely not legible. But there is some text there. I wish I could get it in focus. Try. No, just can't do it. But I'm sure under a proper magnifying glass you'll be able to see that. So that's 26051. Let's have a look at the sister engine 26020. Again, that doesn't have the tops details on the side of the cab, and I like the way the red is picked out even on the bogie. That red square there and little bits of red there and there, you see. The early BR crest, beautifully done. Again, roof details probably identical to the other loco. Driver and second man in the cab also. And more or less the same. It looks good in the black, doesn't it? Looks good in the black. And I might just try and track down an EM2 in the BR black, because I think that would be the one I'd go for. They did come out in electric blue and BR green as well. So, and some of these have got silver bogies on the EM2s, which I'm not keen on. Anyway, I think I've said all I can about these. Sorry about the camera wobble. I'm not a professional videographer, not like some of the channels out there. I'll just show you that's my poor PMV waiting for parts, wait for a motor there. So that motor is knackered and it's a shit design. That's Heljan as well. Can you believe they can make something as nice as this and it churn out rubbish like this? You know, this is how they've gone. This only came out through Model Rail about a year ago, and I've been following it, and now look at it. I was even thinking about putting another motor in it, hard wire in it, but I don't know. I'm waiting for Gauge Master to see if they can source another motor, and we'll take it from there. Hopefully we'll have that back running. Anyway, let's set these off, and I wonder what sort of sound they made. Oh, these come with speakers in as well, by the way, but they're not connected up. So if you're looking to sound fit these, you won't necessarily need a speaker, alright? Just so I let you know that, because I've had them apart. And there they go, lovely and smooth. We'll take it up to about 25. See if we can get the sound of those trucks before we go. I like the clunk, clunk, clunk that four-wheel trucks make over the rail joints. See if we can pick some of that up. You can't really hear it, but on the layout you'll hear that, because I'll make special provision on the rail to hear that, but more will be revealed when the Equipston line is running. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see what the next video brings.